Okay, FedEx just dropped off the FUCARE Scorpio Sport. This is the latest e-bike from FUCARE. I mean, they only released it a week ago. And basically what FUCARE did was that they created a whole new line of bikes off of the old series of bikes. So you got the Scorpio, the Libra, and added dual motor to it. Same name, but they put the word sport at the end of the wording, so. And it's brand new. I don't think not too many people had it out. What happened was that I was looking at an e-bike for my wife, and I was speaking to FUCARE, and I told FUCARE, the customer service, I said, you know, I'm going to do a review on this bike because I'm a shorter rider, and most of these e-bikes are not meant for short riders, and this bike fit perfectly in that criteria, and then I'm going to do a YouTube video on e-bikes for short riders. And then he says, oh, by the way, I got some information for you. He says, we got a dual motor version of this bike coming out in a few days. And he says, I'll let you know as soon as it comes out, so you can order it right away and probably be the first ones to review this bike. So I says, great. He appreciates that. And then we got the bike, paid for it out of my own pocket, and it's here for a review. And I want to just show everybody how much an upgrade this is over the regular Scorpio. I think it's only like a $200 difference, so you can see if it's the right model for you. And this is what came in today. It took about a week later, so the bike was introduced Thursday of last week, so it took 1 week. So let's take a look at this thing. It looks like it's survived pretty good shape. Got a little bump there. I think we got a little bump on this side, but it looks like it didn't penetrate at all, so which is good news. So we'll do an unboxing of this thing and put it together in a separate video, and then any adjustments I made to the bike and to the display unit, and then my overall impressions once we get this thing on the road. Okay, so this is the unboxing of brand new model, the FUCARE Scorpio Sport. I could tell right away that when we open the top, it's packed a lot better than a lot of the open box I've seen of other e-bikes. I mean, it's got a lot of foam, you know. Most e-bikes are just wrapped in, you know, styrofoam blankets and stuff. This thing is pretty well made, so let me get the box opened up. Wow, that's a work of art sitting there. Okay, so we start taking things apart, and I'll get back to you once we get the bike out of the box. Okay, I took all the foam and straps off the bike as much as possible. I leave some on just to protect it while we're doing the installation. But I'm amazed at how every single part is encapsulated in foam. I'll show you an example. Look at this big, huge foam. This is just to hold the seat in place. So they want to guarantee that you're going to get the bike to you undamaged and no scratches. And I don't see nothing right now. They had a sacrificial plastic under the protective axle bracket there. Let me show you, that kind of shattered. This sits in like this and it broke off as they were bouncing around, but that's what it's designed to do. Okay, this is the battery. There's a key to the battery over here, so you gotta unlock the battery too. So we'll just take the battery out, and while we're doing the video, I should just start charging this guy up. Okay, and here's what you get in the box. This is the goodie package, right? Owner's manual. They have a good assembly video on the website, so you don't really need the owner's manual, but if you like pictures, it's there. It's a nicely written owner's manual too, so good for them. They got some cards here so you can scan and get some tips. On the back, it's got your serial number of the bike and all that. There's your installation guides. Scan it for the videos on how to use the bike, how to use the display to run the motor and all that. Toolkit. Let's see what they give you here. Okay. They give you the snippets. I use my own, but yeah, they give you a nice one here. Maybe we're gonna need these things, I know. Allen wrenches you're gonna need, little pouch. So you could keep this with the bike if you want to. Looks like a reflector, and these look like axle nut protectors. They give you a bike lock. I guess you could hook this on your frame and carry the lock with you. It's good enough that if you could just jog in for Java or coffee, it'd be good, but it's not going to protect your bike, you know, from a thief. You know, it's enough to slow them down where you could run out after them, I guess. But it's to deter the opportunist thief. This is for handlebar. So you got the 4 bolts and then the bracket, pedals. Again, everything is double, triple wrapped. Pedals reflectors, not bad. And here's all your nuts and bolts. Oh, touch-up paint. So if you scratch up your bike, you know, you could use that. And finally, the battery charger. Let's see, it's a 3 amp charger, 54.6 volt. That's good, 3 amp charger, so less charging. They give you a 2 amp charger, you know, I'll be kind of disappointed, it'll take you forever. Okay, so I'll start charging up the battery and you get this assembly going. This is a protective rod so that when you're shipping it, the fork doesn't bend on you. So we're gonna have to take this off. This one fits. Yeah, they got it on tight. Okay, lift the bike up. Okay, that's that. Okay, so next we got to install the front fender. I'm going to keep the kickstand up. The problem is that the fender is sitting on top of this rear fender, so it makes sense to start the fender now before you put the wheel on. This is front fender. It goes like this. Okay, so we just got to get the bolts for the fender. Probably this long one here. Okay. Okay, so this goes in the back. Okay, so bolt, the fender bracket, and then the headlamp goes behind it. You could disconnect the headlamp if the wiring is getting in your way. Pretty straightforward. Then they give you one of these, I guess, to hold on to it. Yep. Get the Allen wrench and just tighten it down. And then once it gets tightened down, then you can adjust the headlamp. A little bit quicker with the right wrench. Okay. Next we gotta attach the brackets to these things. Take off the studs. Same with the other side. Okay, we're just gonna keep it like that. Then we just got to put on the back fender brackets. And actually, this rack is installed already, so just leave that there. They kept it loose because they had the front fender attached to it, so. Again, same on the other side, so. Okay, so now we grab our wheel. You got to protect your disc here. This goes on the left side now, so it matches to the brakes. Go in between this brake here. So you got to remove the plastic. So it's got to sit right in the middle of that. So this is the nut that they give you. Now we're going to mount the wheels on this thing. So I'm going to get the wheel on. You got to do like 3 things at the same time. So if we got another pair of arms, it help. So you put on that door.
Initially, I followed instruction manual and the video they had on assembling Scorpio, but that is actually wrong. Those video and instruction manual is meant for regular Scorpio and not for the one that has the dual hub motors. With the dual motor up front, you're going to need a more robust system.
Okay, we attached the wheel, but it was locking up. And I loosened up the nuts of the wheel and the spin, so we need a spacer. Now the directions and the video are not for this front suspension. So I'm looking at this and I says, well, one is rounded, one is threaded, so it's got to go like this. This acts as a spacer, bolt goes in, and then nut. So we'll try that.
In all fairness, FUCARE did have addendum for mounting the front wheel of the Scorpio Sport, but addendum says first ride important tips, so I overlooked it. It probably should have said important front wheel installation. Because this bike has a front motor on the front hub, it's going to cause a lot more stress on the system itself, so they have the safety spacer that locks in the wheel more firmly. So this is how we install it. I think my installation video is more clearer than what the instruction sheet showed. So follow this and you'll be okay.
This one space is threaded. You got to stick it in first. And then this other piece will clamp down on top. This thing screws in place because we need a spacer there. So basically you stick this thing into the groove stud first, into the groove, threaded side, and this thing comes in and just mates up with it. I'm just going to lightly tighten this thing up and see if the wheel spins. Okay, so we got the spacer in. Well. There it is. So it took us forever to figure this thing out. So once we get that lined up, snug it up, both sides. 2 nuts. Now it makes more sense because I had no spacer there. I'm going, what? Yep. Jeez. So you just snug this thing down. So on assembling the bike, you can put the fenders on first, but we got to put the wheel on before the handlebars and the seat because of this issue. I'm making known to FUCARE that. It took us how long to figure this one out? The wrench doesn't fit exactly. I don't want to round out the nut, but we don't want the tires to fall off, right? Okay, that's done. Wheel spin. Now it's going to save you guys an hour trying to figure out how to get this wheel on. So, but we got to put the wheel on before the seat. So flip it over and put the handlebar back on. Install the handlebars. So you grab your bracket, pick up your handlebar. I just want to install it so they get out of the way. Then we just little grooves here, just stick them on. You probably got to do a final adjustment later. Just make sure it's centered, equal distance. So it looks like it's centered. Put the bracket on, 4 bolts they give you. Finger tighten them initially, wiggle them back and forth. You want to cross thread them. After you're through, you could always adjust this handle, the rake or the angle towards the rider. And we don't want to damage the handlebar, leaving it dangling. So just finger tighten them down. Okay, so once you get them down, now make sure equal distance in the middle. That look about right? Yeah, that looks about right. All you do is just start tightening these things down. Just like a tire, you want to do an X pattern so they get equal tension amounts all around. One step is when it touches. Second step, you do a light snug, and then third step, you snug it down tight. So that's just light resistance there. A lot of people put Loctite on these things, so it doesn't light resistance. Then we do the same thing. They just go different steps. Tighten it. You may have to loosen this up, like it says, to adjust how you want the handles to sit. I think it's sitting, when you're riding, you want the wrist to be straight. You don't want to go like this or like this. So you got to adjust the rake of the handlebar. Okay. Like it says, we're going to end up adjusting it to the rider later on. So I want to snug this up. Not overly tight at this point because I just want to make sure we adjust it at the final stage. I just don't want this to keep moving around. Okay, that's good enough. So that's done. It's like the wire goes up here. Okay, so we got a small Allen wrench here. It's too kind of hard. You gotta have small hands. Okay, let's get this thing lined up again. Some steps they leave off, manual, I guess. And this hooks into here, so it goes like this. I'm just lining up the pins here. There it goes, and you just tighten this thing down. Okay, so let's just want to get this out of the way. I just want to make sure everything's loose and fitted. Okay. And then we just got to put on the pedals. Pay attention. One is left, one is right. Right, see, right? And then they got the L's on how to tighten these. If you put the left side on the right side, when you're pedaling down the road, it's going to fall off because the cranking is working against the screw mount. So that's why you got to follow the direction of the arrow. Okay, so I don't know why I was turning the pedal, people. Okay, so you just turn this and just tighten it down. Same thing, the other side. We're almost through. The only other thing you got to do is just adjust the seat height and the handlebars. Remember the handlebars? And just See, it goes the opposite way. Snug it down because you don't want it to fall off on you. Left side brake, left side. Okay, seat time. Okay, seat goes on. It's a quick release clamp, so open up clamp, drop the seat post in. It's got numbers on the side here, so you want to initially set it to your hip, okay? And you go change it later. Now, make sure the seat's straight. Put the clamp down. Now, once it's clamped down, the seat's tight. If it moves around on this side, they have adjustment. You could, if it's too loose, you could tighten it down. If you can't close the clamp, you could loosen it up. Okay, now, but once you get on here, then you're going to have to adjust your bars to your angle. Okay, so seat's too high for me. Actually, it's a low sitting spot. No, this is where the tippy toe. You want your wrist to be nice and straight. You don't want it like this or this. Well, this looks pretty good. Maybe you could break it back just slightly, like this, I guess. Okay, initially I think that's fine. Just add a protection reflector. It's probably a seat post, but if you get the seat all the way down, right? Yeah, it goes here.
Note that if you have your seat all the way down, you won't be able to attach the reflector on the seat post. It looks like they give you some sort of an adapter that you can attach it to a seat frame instead. So I just want to bring that up.
Okay, I think it's all assembled.
Okay, here's what the bike looks like completed. It's relatively easy to assemble this bike, and I just want to give you a nice clear video on how it's done. My next video will be basically doing the final adjustments, how to set up the controller for your riding style using the display, and how to toggle dual hubs and single hub on and off. If you like this video and you'd like to purchase this bike, please use my affiliate link. It costs you nothing, and they throw a few bucks my way, which helps support my channel. So I hope you found this video informative. Please click the like button. When you have a chance, please subscribe. And most of all, thank you for watching.